In some places, one step can take you into another country. Streets, houses, even cafes are split right down the middle by invisible lines. These borders are so strange that people's front doors and backyards belong to different nations. You won't believe how some of these places actually work. Number 10. Veľké Slemence/Malé Selmentsi. Imagine your own village being split by a line drawn overnight. Veľké Slemence in Slovakia and Malé Selmentsi in Ukraine live that bizarre reality. After World War II's redrawing, the settlement was sliced into two-thirds in Slovakia, one-third in Ukraine. They literally tore down a house standing on the border, erected a 6-meter palisade wall, and installed watchtowers. For decades, crossing your own street meant dealing with border patrol, visas, bureaucracy. The two sides rarely saw each other. In 2005, a pedestrian-cyclist checkpoint opened, allowing limited crossing, but then when Slovakia joined Schengen, things tightened again. This village split in half is a living testament. Drawing borders isn't just political, it can rip through homes, relationships, and daily life. Number 9. Beebe Plain, Canada/USA. You wouldn't believe your eyes. Snee Street. Two countries. Beebe Plain is a village literally cut in half by the US-Canada border. The dividing line runs right down Canusa Street. Homes on one side are in Quebec, Canada, on the other in Vermont, USA. Originally a single community, Beebe Plain was split when surveyors mismapped the 45 degrees north line, splitting the settlement wrongly. The post offices used to share a building, yet a letter from one side to the other would travel hundreds of miles via rail just to cross border lines. Today, crossing your own street means dealing with international rules. Locals on the US side need passports to step into their neighbor's front yard. The absurdity of daily life is built into every sidewalk and driveway. Number 8. Komárno/Komárom, Slovakia/Hungary. Picture a town that used to be one until borders tore it apart. Komárno, in Slovakia, and Komárom, in Hungary, used to form a unified city. Then, after World War I and the Treaty of Trianon, the Danube became the dividing line, and the town was split between countries. One city, two nations. The bridge connecting them used to be a border checkpoint. Today, being in one side or the other changes your nationality, taxes, even schooling. The two halves still share cultural life. But the border lurks above all. Identity is fractured. Walking across the bridge used to require passports. Now Schengen eased that, but the memory of division still haunts the streets. Number 7. Bocicoiu Mare/Lunca la Tisa, Romania/Ukraine. When a river becomes a border, it can swallow towns whole. Bocicoiu Mare and its twin Lunca la Tisa were one Hungarian village before the 20th century. After the World Wars, the Tisa River became the new border, cutting the original village in two. Now two separate communities, people on one side speak similar languages, share heritage, yet live under different flags. Crossing used to be harder. Families were severed by invisible lines in the water. It's not just about national identity. Border bureaucracy, differing laws, trade restrictions, all these everyday cracks run through a place that once felt whole. Number 6. Point Roberts, Washington, USA/Canada. This tiny U.S. town feels like a geographic trap. Point Roberts is part of Washington state, but to get there by land, you must pass through Canada first. It's an exclave carved off by the 49th parallel boundary, leaving this little patch of America stranded south of Canada. Its land area is under 5 square miles, and with about 1,200 permanent residents, life is bizarre. Locals often drive through British Columbia to reach the rest of their state. The only direct American access is by boat or small plane via its airstrip. Because of that border weirdness, basic things become tangled. A child from grade 4 onward must cross the border twice daily just to attend school in Washington. The only grocery store, restaurants, utilities, everything depends on how friendly relations are across the line. Point Roberts is a living reminder. You can slice territory with a straight line, and turn everyday life into a mess of crossings, passports, and fences. Number 5. Baarle-Hertog / Baarle-Nassau, Belgium / Netherlands. Forget clean borders. Baarle is a nightmare of lines weaving through houses. The Belgian municipality of Baarle-Hertog is made up of dozens of enclaves embedded inside Dutch territory of Baarle-Nassau. Some Belgian parcels are surrounded entirely by Netherlands land. Streets zigzag between countries. One house might be partly in Belgium, partly in the Netherlands, with the kitchen in one country and bedroom in another. Local authorities use little metal markers in sidewalks and walls to show where you cross. When laws differ, taxes, TV licensing, smoking, alcohol, neighbors just across the street may obey totally different rules. Shop owners face daily decisions. Which rules apply? Which flag to fly? Crossing your own living room wall could mean stepping into another legal system. Baarle is a bizarre patchwork, showing how borders drawn with lines can slice through lives, homes, even lead to disputes over whose jurisdiction trumps another. Number 4. Nicosia, Cyprus, North-South. When your city becomes the symbol of division, chaos is inevitable. Nicosia, the capital of Cyprus, was once whole. After conflict and partition in 1974, a UN buffer zone sliced through its heart. Today, the Green Line splits the city, Greek Cypriot in the south, Turkish Cypriot in the north. Walls, fences, checkpoints, and barbed wire now thread through streets, parks, and even shopping districts. Crossing between sectors needs a checkpoint pass. What was once a unified urban life is now fractured. Buildings cut in two. A shop or home might straddle the buffer. Residents live under different laws, currencies, and services depending on which side they're on. The buffer zone is almost a dead zone, neighborhoods frozen in time. Nicosia shows that borders don't just divide countries, they can divide cities from themselves, turning what was whole into two halves forced to pretend they're separate worlds. Number 3. Gorizia / Nova Gorica, Italy / Slovenia. Few borders slice through history as brutally as this one. After World War II, the Italian town of Gorizia was suddenly torn in half. The new Yugoslav border cut straight through its outskirts. On the other side of the fence, a brand new town was born, Nova Gorica, literally meaning New Gorizia. Families woke up one morning on opposite sides of an international frontier. Relatives were separated, streets severed, and people needed visas to visit what used to be their own neighborhood. When the Iron Curtain fell, the two towns started to reconnect, but scars remain. Today, Gorizia and Nova Gorica call themselves the Twin Cities, sharing schools, buses, and even a joint train station that lies right on the border. But the faint line still reminds everyone how fragile unity can be. In 2025, they're set to become a shared European capital of culture, a poetic end to decades of division born from politics, not people. Number 2, Haskell Free Library and Opera House, US-Canada. This one isn't a border town, it's a border building. The Haskell Free Library and Opera House sits directly on the line between Darby Line, Vermont and Stansted, Quebec. One half of the reading room is in the United States, the other in Canada, and a thick black line running through the floor marks the exact border. The front door is in the US, but most of the books are in Canada. Technically, you cross an international boundary just to pick up a book. Before stricter border laws, locals treated it as neutral ground. Families separated by travel restrictions would meet there to talk or even hug across the floor line. It's a surreal loophole in geography and law, the only place in the world where you can borrow a book from another country without ever stepping outside. The border guards tolerate it, barely. But to residents, it's more than a library. It's a symbol of how a line can divide, yet quietly unite. Number 1, Tawil, the no-man's land between Egypt and Sudan. And at number 1, the border so broken that no one even wants it. Between Egypt and Sudan lies Tawil, a tiny triangle of desert about 2,060 square kilometers, and it belongs to nobody. This isn't just an empty patch of sand. It's the result of two conflicting border lines drawn in the early 1900s. Egypt recognizes one border, Sudan another, and Tawil falls between them. If either country claims it, they'd have to give up a far richer area nearby called the Halaib Triangle. So instead, both refuse ownership. Tawil has no government, no residents, no taxes, just a few rocks, sand dunes, and people occasionally declaring it their own kingdom online. It's the only piece of habitable land on Earth that no nation claims. A legal ghost zone born from colonial mistakes. It's not divided by war, it's divided by indifference, and that makes it the strangest border of all.